Welcome back, you beautiful brave hearts. So today, you know what I want to talk about? I want to talk about don't bring me down. Why am I saying that? Well, because guess what? The most precious thing that you will always have but not realize is your frequency. If you don't protect your frequency, then you are going to have a life of hell. So you buckle up, baby. And I'm going to tell you something right now. You have been taught to disrespect yourself. But if you were to go deep enough and you were to calm down and get in the present moment and own it, you would know that you are not disrespecting yourself. You are disrespecting your frequency. What are you willing to do for love? Let me tell you something. The day that you become desperate, okay, whether it's on a poverty level, a financial level, poverty of love, poverty of finances, poverty of health, anything. Desperation, okay, is the problem that we all are dealing with. And they want us to feel desperate. You know what? They sell nothing to us except fear. False evidence appearing real. What are you willing to do this Christmas? I'll tell you what you're willing to do this Christmas, this holiday season. I'll tell you what you're willing to do ever since Halloween, Thanksgiving, the Christmas holidays, and New Year's. You're willing to compromise your health. That's right. You're going to come together with people. How many extra drinks are you going to have? How much more sugar are you going to take in? More flour, more dairy? How much are you going to compromise yourself to find the love that you desperately need? I get it. We are emotional, vibrational beings. That's right. We are spirit beings. And being a spirit being, you have to understand something. Spirit means frequency. I hope you know that the universal energy we're talking about is spirit, and we came from that universal energy, and that's the only thing you need to protect. When I ask people to go around with a slight smile on their face, and if they did that from the moment they rise until they close their eyes, that is called protection. You need to protect yourself. You know, I was talking to a lady here, and she has a child that for 30 years was a drug addict, and then he passed on. So through that whole 30 years, she's been punishing herself. And now that he's passed on, now she's punishing herself. And I told her, I said, listen, it's not even about him. It's not even about that. You've been running a suffering program since you were a baby. And understand something. On this planet, if you're not willing to suffer for your family, if you're not willing to suffer for your friends, if you're not willing to suffer for everything and anything, then guess what? You're a cold-hearted son of a you-know-what. Well, that's not even true. I'm going to tell you something. I have had a really big struggle in the last 3 weeks. Why? Because I get it. Relationships. But the best relationship and the most important relationship is with yourself. I'm going to tell you something. All I want to do, okay, is to learn to be love to myself, okay? To never have to forgive myself. And I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to be made to feel like a failure or a sinner like the world wants. I mean, the world is so full of it. They're full of it right up to its eyeballs. And I'm not talking about the planet. I'm talking about all the systems, the corporations, most of the religions. Okay, they've got all these rules for fools. You know, if you don't feel guilty, if you don't feel shame, you know what? I'm going to tell you something right now. You let yourself off the hook for everything you've ever done. You need to go in and just observe and not judge yourself or anyone else. And let the world keep on judging you And who cares? Just yawn. Just smile. Don't care. You know, let your family judge you as much as they want. Okay? Who cares? The reality is this: if I could learn how to unconditionally love myself, then what am I doing for the rest of the world? You're not going to give what you're not. You're only going to give what you are. So, you know, people can say to me, you really piss me off, Dr. Wolf, or blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm always right to the point. The reality is that sometimes I'm a hard pill to swallow. I get it. But I will tell you, I have no regrets. I have no regrets. I've been struggling the last 2 weeks because I have to unravel Extapa World Healing and Training Center. Okay? I've done everything I can to bring the vibration up here. All right? Sometimes you have to let go of a relationship. Okay? Because you've grown out of that relationship. You know, you have to love yourself enough to protect your frequency. And for me to protect my frequency, I'd be protecting everybody else's frequency that wants to come. We are going to open up another World Healing and Training Center, and when we do, I have learned so much. So I want to thank everybody that made me promises and never followed through. I want to thank everybody for that because it made me reach down inside. But the reality is, you know, it's like anything else. If you try to keep on saving a relationship that you've grown out of, then it will destroy you. The reality is that there is so much to you. I guarantee you, you haven't even unleashed or uncovered 1% of your potential. We were created by God Almighty, and I truly believe that, and I haven't got a clue what God is, and people are going to go, he doesn't know what God is? What is he, stupid? Well, guess what? I'm not going to believe any story that I've ever been told. Thank you very much. Because almost every story that I've ever been told about that which we call God is contorted and twisted. 1 minute God loves me, 1 minute God hates me. Gosh, could he make up his mind? Could she make up his mind? Could they make up their mind? I don't know anything except one thing. I know that when I unconditionally love myself, and when I do not judge people, and when I do not have negative emotion, when I totally let that go, and I only focus on what I want in my life. And understand, if you were to only focus on what you want in your life, it's only the beautiful. It's only the high vibrational. You don't have to focus on anything else. Everybody says to me when they come to my whole life coach course, or when they come to my Braveheart Healing Circle, I have so much work to do. I have so much. No, you have nothing to do. All you need to do is write down what you want to become and then focus on that. And then do not care what your family, your friends, or the world thinks. If you are working on unconditional love, one law, one love for yourself, then you do not have to apologize to anybody. To anybody. I'm going to tell you something. Whatever relationship you decide you want to get involved in, remember that there's a good chance that person will never change and never grow. You want to know something? Only 1 out of 10,000 people will ever rise to their greatness, because guess what? I know that I'm only 1% of my potential. And then guess what people are going to say? Oh, he's so arrogant. He's so confident. He has so much ego. Well, there is no such thing as an ego, okay? There is no such thing. So don't ask me to kill an ego I don't have. Everybody's trying to find their authentic self. You know, we're always trying to kill something, aren't we? If we're not trying to squeeze the pimple or cut the tumor out or get rid of the cancer, or you know what, or try to I got to get rid of these negative thoughts. I've got to get rid of these things. I feel such like a sinner or a loser. Why are we even focusing on this stuff? Okay, I'm going to tell you something. There's not one system out there, not one religion that could ever get me to buy into that I need forgiveness from you or from anybody else. Okay? And I definitely know I do not need forgiveness from that which created the universe, because it's not that dysfunctional that it 1 minute loves me, 1 minute hates me. I mean, it should be in a straitjacket, it's probably on Prozac and drooling too, right? No, You know, the concept that we have about God, okay, is it okay with you if I make up my own story that which we call God, which created the universe, has always unconditionally loved me, because that which we call God is not some human doing that can be programmed? And understand, to even come down on this planet, okay, when you enter the womb, you have two adulterated parents, okay, that don't love themselves, don't know how to love each other, don't even know how to love the spirit that just entered the womb. Tell me that I'm wrong. Just tell me I'm wrong. I'd like to hear that. And then guess what? And then when I come out of the womb and we start to walk and talk, we act like mommy and daddy, and then we get punished for it. And then by the time that we become a teenager, we're looking for a new family because we came into one that said that they had unconditional love when we were little babies. But when we started to walk and talk, now it's conditional love. Well, guess what? I want to teach the world that you're allowed to have unconditional love no matter who you are. And you know what? You won't give a damn what your family thinks. You know, your family can judge you as much as they want, okay? Because that's what we do, don't we? We judge ourselves, so we judge others. If I stop judging myself, I will not judge others. If I just observe myself and I protect my frequency. And the reality is this: I don't need to get rid of any disease. I don't need to get rid of anything evil. I don't need to repent for any sins, thank you very much, and I don't need your approval. All I need to do is focus on that I am love, I am beauty. I am going to love, honor, and respect these 50 trillion cells, these 700 trillion bacteria. And I'm also going to know that no matter how long I live here, that the majority of the population is programmed to kill itself and is unconsciously killing themselves and me. And the reality is I will unconditionally love everyone, but I will not hang around with people that are unconsciously, subconsciously killing themselves with poisonous drink, poisonous food, poisonous habits. I'm not going to do it. That's all we had to do, was come down here and win the game and protect our vibration and bring it up high and make proper decisions. But how many times during this holiday season are you going to eat the shortbread cookie, have that vodka and orange juice, or that Coke and rum? How many times are you going to say yes to somebody when you know that you are hurting your temple? And then guess what? 80% of the population is going to have COVID. And then we're all going to see the COVID numbers come up, and then we'll let these psychos have their statistics so that they can try to shut everything down because they own every corporation and every system and everything regarding media. I'm not going to buy into any of this stuff. I hope you know I'm not going to participate anymore in what 99.9% of the population ever does. I'm here for that one person out of 10,000 that says, hey, you know what? I'm going to go take a whole life coach course because guess what? I'm going to finish the game properly. I'm going to own my life. I'm going to own every present moment. And that's it right there. Listen, if you could be in the present moment and own it, no matter how many people in your family are getting cancer and heart disease, how many are getting COVID, okay, how many have poverty consciousness, but you don't. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. This game is not unfair. When you start protecting your frequency and you put yourself first and foremost before your children, before your husband, before your wife, before your relatives, before the world. And guess what? The world does not need your help. And when's the last time you saved someone? Nobody's saving anyone. Okay? The reality is when I come on here and open up my big mouth and I tell you how I feel about things, guess what? I'm going to have the people that I don't want coming around me with their frequencies that I no longer desire, and I only want frequencies that are going to make me higher. You know what? There is no limit to your growth. There is no limit. You will never ever get there because you are a spirit being created by God Almighty, and God Almighty has never judged you. I don't care what book you're going to read. You go ahead, read whatever books you want. Make yourself feel guilty. Make yourself feel a sinner. Get down on your knees and beg God, please, and see how that works. Okay, see how that works. When you're done getting on your knees, get up there, raise your hands up high and say, thank you, God, for working for me, not against me. Because you can decide that at any time. You know, I just love these people who go, Oh, people will actually come on my Facebook or they'll send messages into me. You'll get yours, Dr. Wolf. You're going to go to hell, Dr. Wolf, the way that you act. Oh, really? So if I have unconditional love for myself and totally let myself off the hook for everything that I've ever done, then that means I'm not going to beat up on myself, which means I'm not going to beat up on my children or my wife or my friends or the world. I'm going to let the world off the hook because guess what? The world's not going to change. It's not like the psycho rich, okay, are ever going to be not psycho rich because they have a program inside their mind that it's so easy to have money because it doesn't mean anything to them. And with everybody else, 99.9% of the population has poverty consciousness bred right into their brain, okay, and it's going to be there forever. And just know this, you're only poor because you have poor beliefs. You're only sick because you have sick beliefs. And I'm not telling you that you're sick like this. I'm telling you that your beliefs make and shape you, and they're not your beliefs. You got your beliefs from the teachers that you focused on, whether it was your parents, whether it was your uncle, whether it was the TV, it doesn't really matter, but you are not your authentic self unless you have unconditional love for yourself and this world, and that you know that that which you want to call God has never judged you and has loved you beyond love, because love is just a contaminated emotion down here. And the reality is, if you knew what self-love was and you could actually pull that off, you would know what real love is. And it's the only thing that's going to save your butt, because you can tell me that you have a good relationship with your wife or your husband or your children, but you use them to fill up your heart. And when they're not there filling up your heart and telling you how much they need you and how much they love you, then how do you feel? So let's say if they didn't exist, let's say that they don't keep on reaffirming to you that you have self-value, how would you feel? I don't need anyone to tell me that I'm amazing. I don't need anyone to tell me that I'm a no good loser either, because what other people think of me does not matter. What I think of myself is the only thing that matters, the only thing. Now that might come across to you as arrogant, okay, self-centered, really. And if it does, then you're the one with the problem, because that means that you have no respect for yourself, or very little. I had a lady sit here and the other day, and I'm going to tell you something. She didn't even know that she was gaming me. I mean, we don't even understand the beliefs and the programs that we run. This is why people need to take a whole life coach certification, if not from me, from someone. Or they need to come and take a Braveheart Health and Healing Circle. I will tell you this much, my courses are the best in the world. You know, our 3-day course, our pelvic restoration for women, there's nothing like it in the world. We did one about 1.5 years ago, and it's nothing compared to the one we have now, because it's all about heart. It's all about loving yourself. It's all about repairing what a woman really is. Because mankind is not kind. Man is a manipulator, and he's chopping women up and destroying their feminine power. And it's been going on for 5,000 years. Women need to embrace their power, because that's the only thing that's going to really save the population on this planet, is the feminine power, not the male power, because that's definitely not working. You know, the reality is this. I've had like a migraine vice around my neck now for like 10 days. And that's because I was stuck. And I had a chokehold on myself. Because you know what? It's sometimes hard to move on. I mean, less than 1.5 years ago, we moved to Extampa here, and we opened up World Healing and Training Center, one of the biggest healing training centers in the world. You know, that's the power of belief in yourself. And then guess what? It's 1.5 years, and now I'm saying I'm going to dismantle it, and I'm going to build a new clinic, a new training center from what I learned from here. So we have to really learn to have faith and just let go. What are you hanging on to? What's your chokehold right now? What's that relationship that should have been over 10 years ago? What is that thing that you should have done? Even clearing out the closets, clearing out your mind. You know what? Stop talking about how money's hard to make. Stop talking about how life is so tough, and it'll stop being that way. When's the last time that you took massive personal action and said, I'm going to go and dust off my dreams, and I am going to go for my dreams, and I'm going to mind my own business, and I am not going to tell anybody my dreams that will not respect my dreams, because the world walks around scared. Let me tell you something. I've never done this before, going on a world tour. Do you know how much money and how many people are helping me right now organize this? You know what? We're going to be going in doing 11 major trainings. We're doing 11 new world practitioner trainings, 11 pain-free pelvic restoration trainings, 11 Braveheart healing circles. You know, that's like a whole year. Some places we're just starting to get the advertising going. You know what? It's got to scare you a little bit. If every day you are not getting scared a little bit, but really excited, but scared a little bit, then you're not challenging yourself and you're never going to grow. What's the worst case that could happen? You got to talk things out. I said to Lori, if we don't get the numbers somewhere, then we'll just take that month off and we'll just write, we'll research. You know what? Look at your life as a game, as a beautiful game. Don't look at yourself as a failure ever again. Don't look at yourself as a sinner. And guess what? Some of you, you're going to go, that's BS. If I don't look at myself as a sinner, then I'll go to hell. Really? That's how screwed up you are. You couldn't make me feel, listen, let's make this perfectly clear. And I want to make this perfectly clear. That which created the whole universe has never, ever judged me. Whether I was 9 years old and it was the first time I ever made myself had an orgasm, or I stole cookies, or I stole from the store. When I was younger and I was just a teenager, my parents broke up. My mother was an alcoholic. We lived in Halifax, Nova Scotia. You know what? I was into sports. And guess what I would do after school? I'd go steal food from the grocery store. I'd steal clothing. Until one day I tried to steal an iron because my mother wanted an iron for Christmas. The reality is if you think I have any guilt for that, I don't. I grew up in a survival mode, okay, where my father was a born-again Christian carpenter who believed that poverty was the way to the Lord. My mother, who became an alcoholic in her later 20s, and so there was no parent there. I wasn't old enough to make any money, so I would go and fill up my sports bag, okay, with food. And I would say that somebody at school, in high school, was stealing this stuff. I would bring clothes home. I would bring whatever she needed. And then guess what? I saved all the cash she was giving me that I was supposedly giving to someone else. And then when I got busted for stealing the iron, I gave the cash back. So guess what I am? I'm a Braveheart hero. You don't like it, I don't care. The God that you believe in, you can say I'm going to hell for it, but guess what? That's such BS. Look it. I was raised to believe that we can barely survive on this planet, and that's because my belief systems were toxic and they were minimal. My father believed that poverty was the way to the Lord. My mother believed that she was unworthy because she was raped by her father so many times when she was younger. So I'm the byproduct of that. And then, yes, my father said that, you know what, we're all fallen angels. He was a born-again Christian pastor. And that we would always be trying to work our way back to heaven because we're all sinners. Well, I'm not buying that anymore, thank you very much. That is like a ball and chain on my ankle. And I am not going to buy into any religion. I'm going to buy into this, that the whole universe is one big game. And the reality is there's only one law, and that's one love, one law, unconditional love. And I'm going to have that for myself. And guess what? I don't care if you love me, you hate me. I'm going to love you the best that I can. I'm going to love everyone the best that I can. Now you're going to go, yeah, well, let me see you love Bill Gates, Daryl. And I'm going to say, listen, I am not going to hate him. He's not going to be my focus. I'm not going to tell you I love him, but I will never hate. And if I hate anyone, that's because I'm running a hate program deep down inside myself. You better get that. So understand this. I know that the majority of the population is never going to rise to their potential. And I will not ever, ever surrender or give up on the fact that, guess what? I will always continually be unconditional love, because if I can't give that to someone, I'm going to give them nothing. Because understand this, I wish that you would believe when I tell you this. You've been lied to. The creator of everything will never judge you. You are a braveheart hero for just coming down here on this planet, because the psycho evil entity down here will always have control here. You said that you could come down here to a game that was rigged, to be ruled, schooled, and fooled by even your parents, by your peers, by your teachers. They would minimize you, and they would take your potential away, and then it would be your job to rise up as a braveheart. And you said you could come down and play this game that is not in your favor. And that is why only 1 out of 10,000 rise and finish this game properly, and I'm going to. You know what? I get threatened every day about people who want to try to take things away from me. They can't take anything away that means anything, and that's one love, one law for myself. And that is knowing also that that which created the whole universe has never had a bad thing to say about me. And the rest of it is just a crock of crap. So please don't come on my platforms. I love you all, but don't come on my platforms and tell me that I need to be saved, because I will be my own savior at every given moment. I will wear a slight smile on my face. I will go inside myself, because it's inner strength, okay? It's inner standing, not understanding. Don't understand anything, because you should never stand underneath anyone. And there is no authority over you. There is no government official that has any power on me. There is no medical system going to tell me what to do. There is no system out there that's going to rule my life ever for one breath. I am not angry. I am letting everyone know that I'm throwing the gauntlet down. And guess what? I will have unconditional love for the government. Why? Well, because they're not broken. The government is an evil entity, and it's got people that just join it to get some kind of sense of power over people. Really? Well, that's what you call a low vibrational being. And then I am not going to be angry at the medical system, even though every day I have mothers crying, fathers crying. I have people telling me they've lost their loved ones because of this and that. Or people will bring me case history studies where they have been experimented on, and that's all it is. The medical system is just one big concentration experimental camp. That's all it is. It's got nothing to do with unconditional love. It's got nothing to do with love at all, and it's got nothing to do with health. So the people that actually decide to pick the medical system as their health care, don't you think they deserve it? Well, of course they do. To some degree, come on, I know that your brain is 90% subconscious, and you can throw any belief systems in there and you can get people to just knock themselves off. But the reality is where's your logic? Where's your logic? Do you not have any logic and you cannot see what's going down here? Whether you're talking about climate change that doesn't exist, whether you're talking about COVID, which has been around since the beginning of time, but now all of a sudden is killing everyone. Okay, listen to me. I don't care what the story is. I'm not going to believe in anything except unconditional love. And I'm also going to make up my own story, and I'm going to have my own life, and I'm going to be a braveheart hero. And I'll never have to let myself off the hook again for anything, because guess what? I don't care what you think. If you want to try to put me on a hook, I'm not going to be there. You know what? I'm going to tell you something. All of the systems out there, all of the religions, not all of them, a lot of these religions, a lot of these systems, it is so easy for them to put you on a meat hook and then sell you off by the pound. They couldn't touch me if they wanted. Now you might think, oh my God, Dr. Wolf, don't talk like that. They're going to come and get you. They're not after me. They're after the bloated, toxic, disease-filled, okay, the fearful, okay, the people that are shameful, the people that are sinners. They're after all of the ones that are not protecting their frequency. I'm going to protect my frequency. You can't take anything from me. This world is all built on materialism. You know what? Even if I lose everything today, I still have everything, because I love and care and honor and respect myself, and I wish that for everyone else, even my attackers. That's the deal. If we were to get to this one point where we will not hate our attackers. We mind our own business. And we stop sacrificing ourselves because we're so desperate for love or to be approved of or needed. I'm never going to take anything personal again. I know that I am so grateful that I exist. And I am going to stay in the present moment. It's not what I own. It's owning my emotions. It's being in control. Listen, the first thing I do when people pass on in someone's family or somebody's got a drug-addicted child, the first thing I got to do is help that mother, that father, that brother, that sister to get themselves off the hook. Get themselves off the hook that it's not their fault. You need to understand something. If we could get away and rid ourselves of all the suffering, the self-suffering, the self-sabotage, they would never have a chokehold on us. They need you to feel like a sinner. They need you to feel like a failure. They need to make you feel like you failed your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, your girlfriend, your boyfriend. They want you to feel that you're failing all the time. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you. I want the world to know this, that the people that work for me, even if we don't have this going, everybody's still going to be working for me, because guess what? We're coming out with a new app. This app is going to touch the world. I want to touch everybody's hearts and at least give them the opportunity. Would you like to buy into a psycho idea by Dr. Wolf called One Love, One Law, Unconditional Love? Most people won't. But those who do, when they start, they're going to be attacked by their friends and their family, because the friends and the family will go, that's just being self-centered. No, it's not. It's being centered in the self. You know what? This is how screwed up we are. Unconditional love for ourselves is actually a sin. It's actually breaking a law. It's actually being self-centered. Well, guess what? I am self-centered lawbreaker. And I will unconditionally love myself no matter what the world decides to do. And understand this, the world is always going to be, what? Trying to kill itself? Not the people, not the world, are going to be trying to kill themselves and each other. And they don't mean to kill each other, but everybody's in survival mode. And understand something, I want you to think about this. And you better think about this. For all my American brothers and sisters, and everybody else around the world, how many wars did we go and start that we needed to start, that really needed to happen? How many arguments did you have with your family, your children, your wife, your husband, the next door neighbor that you really needed to have? You know, maybe it could be your belief systems that aren't your belief systems, which are a hate system that you're running for yourself, and you were given ideas that, guess what, if I did this, this, and this, everything would just be beautiful. We'd ride off with a white knight, and we'd have all the love and all the money that we wanted. Are you like out of your skull? From the very beginning of time, these psychos, okay, have been granted financial power on this planet, and they'll always have it. But they have no power over me. How much more money do I need? You know, I just want to make enough money that I can touch everyone's heart around the world. That's all I want to do. And you might think I'm up to something and something else, but guess what? I don't have any other desire except that, because when I touch someone's heart, I'm touching my own. When I fill someone's heart, I'm filling my own. When I make a person feel that they are love, then I am love. And that is all that we need to do, nothing else, okay? You're so worried that you won't have a place to live, won't have enough food. They just got you to take the big fear pill. Let me tell you, it's not going to happen. But if I were to lose everything materialistic today, they were to close down my bank account, I would sit down and I would be very quiet and connect to my source, and I would say, game on. Game on. Because guess what? You're not going to like this, some of you, but God works for me just as I work for you. And when I say God works for me, I'm not talking that He works for me. I'm telling you it is unconditional love. I'm telling you that I work for you. We all need to work for each other. We need to be there for each other, but that will never happen until you are there for yourself with unconditional love first. You can't give what you're not. So don't think that you're going to. And this Christmas, I'm going to tell you, you better make sure that you're hydrating, that you're drinking lots of hot water and it's structured. You better make sure that you're eating whole plant-based foods. You stay away from all sugar, all flour, all dairy, and you stay away from toxic relatives and don't try to cuddle up to them. You protect your frequency. You don't go near Uncle Harry if he's a bit of a perv. You don't go near people if they don't respect and honor themselves, because they're not going to do it for you. You need to understand something. Christmas my butt, will you? Okay, Christmas my butt. I need every moment of your life to be a love holiday. I need you to start protecting yourself, so wear a slight smile on your face. And remember something, do not let this holiday season destroy you on an emotional, physical level. Remember food combining, remember hydrating, okay? And remember that slight smile, and let everything go. And don't feel like you have to go and run your Visa card up. And don't feel that you have to say yes to everything here. Love yourself first and foremost. I need you to get through this whole season as a thriver, not a survivor. And understand something. Until you totally love yourself, guess what you're going to do? You're going to compromise everything about yourself until there's nothing left. And just know this, you are love. And that which created the whole universe has never judged you. And you're going to go, yes, he has. Yes, she has. Yes, they have. Whatever the case may be. And you're going to do that because you're just programmed for that. So understand something. Do you actually believe that if you unconditionally loved yourself right now, that you're going to go to hell for that? Do you actually believe that if you let yourself off the hook for what the world says that you deserve to go to hell for, you deserve to go to jail for, you deserve to be not loved for, you deserve to go and do enough drugs to kill yourself or numb yourself out, or you need to do enough alcohol that you destroy yourself because that's a hate program? You stop it right now. Because the world, okay, is not the world you think it is. We came down here to a life-threatening, fun-filled adventure. And guess what? It will be fun-filled when you come first, before anyone or anything else, so help me God. And guess what? Once you have unconditional love for yourself, you will be doing no harm to anyone, but you will be upsetting the herd. Oh, yes, you will. You will. They'll even be pissed off at you because they're left to suffer because they don't know how to get rid of the belief systems that aren't theirs. Let me tell you something. You'll know when every belief system inside, prominent, dominant belief system inside your subconscious is yours, because you will have joy at every moment. And you're going, that's not true. And that's because, guess what? You're taught that if someone else is suffering in your family or the world's suffering, that you need to suffer too, because that's how you show your love. Well, when you come in here and start suffering, I will shut that down. Remember, it's just a program. So do you believe that the more you suffer, the more you're going to be benefited by something? Why don't you take a look around and find out that's the biggest BS, dysfunctional belief system that people are running. Let's see if you can love yourself through this holiday season. Because guess what? Does anybody know that there's only one thing that goes on more than anything else during this season? The poisoning of humans. You think about that. The most that goes on right now till January the 2nd is the poisoning of humans, so that we can bring up the COVID numbers. So, because guess what? COVID's been around since the beginning of time. And if you didn't have a runny nose or infection in your ear or your vagina or diarrhea or vomiting, would you rather die or just get cancer? Which one? Well, if you're going to emotionally allow toxic frequencies in, if you are going to physically allow toxic drink and food in, don't you think it's going to blow out some orifice? And if it didn't, it would blow you up. Just know this. Right now, I'm visualizing the whole planet, every person, because guess what? They are me and I am them. Welcome to the earth family. We are all created by the same creator. And even though there's 4,500 different prominent religions with all different stories, there's only one story, and that is, it must be one love, one law for all. God bless. You know, it's not good enough to have the most powerful courses, treatments, and training. We want to deliver to you the adventure of a lifetime that's going to last a lifetime. And I'm going to take you on a little adventure right now and show you what we are going to deliver. What are we going to deliver? We are going to deliver the authentic you, the real you, the genius inside. How would you like to become not just the master of your mind, but the master of your body, the master of your life? You know what? The most important world is your world, and we're about to show you how to create it. Never limit yourself to beautiful, because that's what you are. Take a look at this beautiful place. We all deserve beauty in our life. You need to create a new program that is unlimited when it comes to things that are beautiful, things that make you happy, things that make you shine, things that make you feel excited. Let's get excited. What I've learned in my life is this: to be the change you wish to be the change you wish to see, Braveheart, you have to understand, you take life one step at a time. Never lose your focus. Never lose your dream, because you are the dream maker. It's called image, but guess what? It's your imagination.
Hey,
The image that you hold
how come
creates
I
the
can't
thought
hear anything?
that you live with. That thought creates an emotion that creates a frequency, and we know that the invisible creates the physical. I mean, that's quite obvious.
Can't hear anything.
So be the power that you seek, and understand something, that all your thoughts matter. And guess what? Unless you're willing to take a look at those thoughts and retrain your brain,
Can you hear me,
change your
Tito?
personality, you'll never change your reality, and your reality could become infinite. You were created by your creator to create. So let's create something amazing together. So tell me what you think of the destination that I came up with my imagination to hold the whole life coach certification for you. Understand something. It's all about beauty. It's all about adventure. It's all about stimulating the mind, okay? And understanding that your mind is unlimited. And that is what the whole life coach certification is all about. In the whole life coach certification, we are going to go deeper. We have people coming to us, professionals coming to us, from doctors to nurses to accountants to oil riggers to mothers that want to expand their life. And when they come here, they go, I need to learn to help my family, or I want to improve my business. But guess what? We get into their business. When they leave, they become the change that they wish to see, that they wish to be. And grow. So find your roar, because you're so much more. And learn this. You are the unconditional love that you've been looking for. You are the dream maker. I can't wait to see you. We want to become that small piece of the puzzle that brings your dream together. Thank you.